ahead to Alexis de Roode's presentation immediately. He will read a few poems, as I already mentioned.
Kan ik daar zitten?
I don't know if he's close to here. He's here. I would like to ask you to go to the stage. Do you want a microphone?
Yes, please.
Oké, ik ga daar zitten.
I don't know how it is with you, but I'm sort of shaking after this lecture. It was flabbergasting, all enormous spaces opening up in my mind, and it got quite scary at one point. Then we got some comfort that when we're all dead, there will be a new universe. So all these laws of physics are so immense, and we can try to understand them and get really far, but we cannot change them. So that's why we need language. Because with language we can change everything if it's only in our head. That's why we need poetry as a comfort when we look at the vast expanses of space. So I think poetry is the nearest to magic, and poetry, with poetry we can bend the rules a little bit in our mind. So, for example, I'm going to read 3 poems to you. I will give a workshop at 3:30, and there we will use poetry to tackle your own biggest problem with time. We will use your personal problem with time and turn it into images and visualizations, and then we will change them and turn it into language and poetry. And as an example how that can be done, I will read 3 poems to you. I understood that 80% here speak Dutch, 20% English, and well, poems are often quite difficult to grasp at one hearing. So I'll read every poem twice, first in English, I guess, and then in Dutch. In the first poem, it shows how you can change the speed of time. It's not by myself; it's a very famous poem by Vasalis, and. Yeah, it's not my poem, but I made the translation myself, so I think I can still do that. First, in English. Time. I dreamt that I was living slowly, slower than the eldest stone. It was a terror all around, all things pushed on, shook and trembled that are normally still. I saw the urge that wrenched the trees up from the earth, while singing hoarse and haltingly, and while a sky of seasons flew, shifting colors like rainbows do. I saw the tremor of the sea, its swelling and its hasty shrinking, like a giant throat that's drinking. And day and night flare up, subside, in short succession, a flickering fire. The eloquence and desperation in all the gestures of the things commonly frozen, and their ringing, their breathless, grim and brutal fight. I never knew, how can that be? Why didn't I see it earlier? Will I ever lose that memory? En dat wordt in het Nederlands tijd. Dit heeft Vasalis zelf geschreven. Ik droomde dat ik langzaam leefde, langzamer dan de oudste steen. Het was verschrikkelijk. Om mij heen schoot alles op, schokte of beefde wat stil lijkt. Ik zag de drang waarmee de bomen zich uit de aarde wrongen, terwijl ze hees en hortend zongen. Terwijl de jaargetijden vlogen, verkleurende als regenbogen. Ik zag de tremor van de zee, zijn zwellen en weer haastig slinken, zoals een grote keel kan drinken. En dag en nacht van korte duur, vlammen en doven, flakkerend vuur. De wanhoop en welsprekendheid in de gebaren van de dingen, die anders star zijn. En hun dringen, hun ademloze vredesstrijd. Hoe kon ik dat niet eerder weten, niet beter zien in vroeger tijd? Hoe moet ik het weer ooit vergeten? Now one from myself. This will be in my upcoming poetry book. I've written 2 so far. This was my first. This was my second. And the third is about time. And it will come out on a day with 25 hours, 31 October. That's when the time is set back 1 hour. I have an easy riddle. It should be really easy for you today. Who set us free from the dinosaurs? Who is singing in treetops and deserts? Who is happy to be chopped up to pieces? Who watches and never abandons us? What secret ingredient goes into seduction? Who leaves lovers and mystics in peace? Who is the mastermind behind our career? Who sends us surprises all day long? Who loved my grandma for 90 years? Who makes high-rise apartments crumble? Who gave the red deer a 20-tine antler? Who breaks every world record? Who caresses our skin till it goes wrinkly? Who reminds my child that it must be born? Who will defeat the Americans? Who is older than the sun? Weet iemand het al? Makkelijk raadsel. Wie heeft ons verlost van de dinosaurus? Wie zingt in boomtoppen en verlaten vlaktes? Wie laat zich graag door ons in mootjes hakken? Wie ziet ons en verlaat ons nooit? Wat is het geheime ingrediënt van verleiding? Wie laat verliefden en mystici met rust? Wie is het meesterbrein achter onze carrière? Wie stuurt ons de hele dag verrassingen? Wie hield 90 jaar van mijn oma? Wie laat torenflats verkruimelen? Wie gaf het edelhert een gewei met 18 enden? Wie breekt elk wereldrecord? Wie is ouder dan de zon? Wie streelt ons tot wij rimpels krijgen? Wie herinnert mijn kind eraan dat het geboren moet worden? Wie zal de Amerikanen verslaan? And the last one, I think this will be a nice bridge to the next speaker. The right to be slow. Why should we, me and you, not be entitled to slow living? Very slow living. All machines can be switched off. Stagnation is allowed entirely. You may also close your eyes for anything. Even your mind's eye may be closed. You do not have to answer. You do not have to go on. You may stay here. You do not have to finish this poem. Het recht op traagheid. Waarom zouden wij, u en ik, niet gerechtigd zijn tot traag leven? Tot zeer traag leven. Alle apparaten mag u uitzetten. Stilstaan is geoorloofd ten volle. U mag ook de ogen sluiten. Voor alles. Zelfs eraan denken hoeft niet. U hoeft niet te antwoorden. U hoeft niet verder. U mag hier blijven. U hoeft dit gedicht niet uit te lezen. Dank u wel.